Yeah, g'day, this is Corey and welcome to part 2, day 1 still of my Great Guitar Build Off 2022. I'm currently chambering the body with the router. I did the boring stuff in the previous video with drill press and the Forstner bit. This is day 1 still because I'm still wearing my shirt that I got from my good mate. I'd say he's a good mate. I haven't met him, but he's still a good bloke. So if anyone's after a shirt, I've left the handle, I guess it's called, the Instagram name at the bottom of the screen just then. I was going to say it, but I kept getting tongue-tied. So I swap and change with the router template. It just depends on the size of the bit. At the start I was using a smaller bit and I just wanted to get the channel cut first so I had something for the bearing to ride on. Then I took the template off, went deeper, and I had to put the template back on because of the other router bit that I ended up using. And if you have a look, there's my mum. Say hi, Sue. Righto, it's time to join up the neck. I'm doing this so it's got something to run along the fence. The timber is Australian rosewood. I used it in last year's build off for my body. If you haven't seen that, I did a single cut with a bought neck and I put cigar box pickups in the bridge and the neck. It turned out pretty cool. Anyway, getting rid of the live edge, and then I'm going to split it down the guts. Then joined up some blackbutt and wedge it in the middle. Cut it down the guts again, thin it out to make it look like veneers. And in the middle I'll put some merbau in there, merbau, whichever it is, as a center strip. If you've noticed with the blackbutt and the merbau, I had to sand off a layer of oil so it'd end up gluing together. Because I'm in a garden shed now, I try to use the thicknesser when my neighbour to the right hand side of me is out, because it gets really loud and it's very annoying. All this time I took to plumb in some dust extraction for my joiner and my thicknesser. Waste my time, it didn't really work. So here I'm planing down the sides to make it look like I've got blackbutt veneers. In honesty, I probably won't do this again because, well, one side of the neck blank is lighter than the other, so you can't really see it. Those of you with a keen eye will notice that I'm actually leaving a gap in this center section. The idea was so I wouldn't have to route or cut in a truss rod channel. In a later episode you'll see that my truss rod ended up being too long and I had to make do with something else, and I had to cut some little plugs to fill in the gaps. And it's just what you do. You make a mistake, you just cover the mistake to make it look like it didn't happen. So here's another great idea I had. Well, first off, I'm sanding the oil off the blackbutt and the merbau, whatever. I'm going to glue them together, and then I'm going to thin them out as thin as I can get them and stick them on the back of the fretboard, because the fretboard is only 5mm thick, so I wanted a bit more thickness. And I thought it would look cool with the veneer type deal underneath the fretboard. But I am probably going to just have normal binding, or wood binding, that will cover it up anyway. This fretboard is the offcut from the body. I've then used the outside for the book match, and if you ask me, it looks pretty vag-tastic. I must have lost the footage of cutting the fretboard to size, but don't worry, I did. Now I'm just joining the sides just to make them nice and flat. I'd say my most used tool is probably my joiner. I use it to flatten out neck blanks, do the joints, I guess, the edges that make up the joints. I don't have a hand plane at all. I did have a nice little one, but the handle was broken, so I ended up chucking it in the bin, which silly me. But yeah, I used the joiner a lot, and so far in this build I've used the thicknesser more than my past few builds. Righto, well that's going to do it in this episode. Please like, subscribe, share, just do whatever, and I'll catch ya.